Imagine lying on a cold hospital gurney. An anesthesiologist places a mask over your face or injects a clear liquid into your IV and asks you to do something simple. Count backward from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, and then instantly you wake up. Only it isn't the next second, it is 4 hours later. Your surgery is finished, the lights are different, and you have absolutely no memory of anything that happened. There was no dreaming, no tossing and turning, and absolutely no sense of time passing. It is a bizarre, slightly unsettling experience. You didn't just sleep for 4 hours, you were erased. So, where actually do you go when you are under general anesthesia? And how does a cocktail of chemicals temporarily turn off your consciousness? To understand this, we first have to bust a massive medical myth. General anesthesia is not sleep. When you sleep, your brain is actually incredibly active. It swings through structured cycles of REM and non-REM sleep, consolidates memories, washes away cellular waste, and generates vivid dreams. If someone whispers your name or shakes your shoulder, you wake up. But under general anesthesia, your brain is in a completely different state. You are chemically anesthetized. Biologically, you are closer to being in a reversible medical coma than being asleep. So, how do these drugs actually shut down the human mind? They do it by targeting the brain's communication network. Normally, your brain operates like a highly coordinated global telephone network. The back of your brain processes what you see, the sides process what you hear, and the front integrates all of this data to create your conscious experience. This is called information integration. Anesthetic drugs do not necessarily turn off individual brain cells. Instead, they cut the telephone wires. They disrupt the electrical signals that allow different regions of the brain to talk to one another. Under anesthesia, your brain's highly synchronized orchestra is broken. The violinist is still playing and the drummer is still drumming, but they can no longer hear each other. The music of consciousness completely stops. But if the brain is still technically alive, why don't you feel the pain of a surgeon's scalpel? That is the job of a tiny egg-shaped structure deep inside your brain called the thalamus. The thalamus is the brain's grand switchboard. Every sensory signal from your body, the feel of a cold table, the sound of a voice, or the sharp pain of an incision must pass through the thalamus before it can reach the cerebral cortex, where you actually perceive it. Anesthetic drugs supercharge the brain's primary inhibitory chemical, called GABA. GABA acts like the brain's braking system. By flooding the thalamus with GABA, anesthetics completely close the switchboard. When the surgeon makes an incision, the pain signals still travel up your spinal cord, but the doors to the thalamus are locked. The signal has nowhere to go. There is literally no one home to hear it. Perhaps the strangest part of anesthesia is the total absolute loss of time. When you wake up from a normal 8-hour night of sleep, you usually have a vague, intuitive sense that hours have passed. But under anesthesia, the transition feels instantaneous. You close your eyes, and a fraction of a second later, you open them. This is because anesthetics completely shut down the hippocampus, the brain's memory creation engine. Normally, your brain is constantly recording a continuous video of your life, but anesthetics hit the pause button on the recorder. Because your brain cannot lay down a single new memory, the entire 4-hour surgery is compressed into a single, seamless frame. You didn't experience a void or a dark, empty space. You simply did not exist to yourself. Anesthesia is one of the greatest miracles of modern medicine. Before its discovery in the 19th century, surgery was a terrifying, agonizing trauma of last resort. Today, we take it for granted that we can temporarily turn off our minds, undergo complex surgery, and return to consciousness safely. But anesthesia is also a profound philosophical reminder. It shows us that your consciousness, your very sense of self, is not a solid, permanent thing. It is a fragile, beautifully coordinated dance of electrical signals. Turn off the music, cut the wires, and the dance instantly vanishes. And when the drug wears off, the switchboard opens, the wires reconnect, and you return to the world, having traveled to a place where time doesn't exist.